16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahla. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
A serial entrepreneur with 3 successful businesses based in the Kingdom of Bahrain. A woman in love with words, who speaks to her plants at home. Anita Menon, Managing Director, The Butterfly Effect Co., Managing Director, Gatsby Beauty Launch, and Partner at MH Consultants. Previously a qualified management consultant with KPMG Fakru in Bahrain and an IT consultant specialized in supply chain management with HCL in India, Anita comes with 18 years of experience in her field across geographies such as the GCC, UK, Europe, US and India. She started her entrepreneurial journey 8 years back after a long corporate stint in consulting. She describes herself as an accidental entrepreneur who has enjoyed this journey with its highs and lows. Her digital journey began with a blog way back in 2009, around the same time she became a mother. The blog's popularity soared quickly and she learned how to write and promote it, which eventually led her to start her own digital and content marketing company, The Butterfly Effect Co. in 2014. 5 years ago, Gatsby launch, which was up for sale, was love at first sight for Anita. And she invested in the beauty business by buying it and with her marketing expertise revived it back to life. MH Consultants was a going back to her comfort zone, consulting. She wanted a fraction of the fast-paced, very evolving consulting experience back, and MH Consultants with a partner, Ron Howard, was the answer. On the platform, she runs the popular podcast Breakfast Banter along with Ron. Going forward, Anita is looking to expand into the wellness industry and is thinking about launching a business soon. The mechanical engineer with an MBA in supply chain management loves reading and runs a children's book club from her home. She enjoys painting, indoor gardening, and spending time with her daughter and husband and her pet dog, Buttons. Joining us this evening on Biztalk from BMC Global Live, a show which features success stories of business leaders. It is Managing Director, The Butterfly Effect Co., Managing Director of Gatsby Beauty Launch and partner at MH Consultants, Anita Menon.
A beautiful combination of business skills, artistic talents, and compassion. An enthusiastic Bahrain-based Indian businesswoman, Anita Menon, joining me on Biztalk from BMC Global Life. Good evening, Anita. Navratri wishes.
Thank you so much,
Welcome
Raji.
to the show.
Lovely to be here again.
Yes.
And such a lovely introduction. Thank you so much.
You deserve it. When you say again, I think it takes me back to almost 2 years ago when you joined on a panel discussion with us. That was a time when you represented the most affected business sector, isn't it?
Some grave times back then.
Exactly, and it's nice to have some pleasant times ahead of us,
Yes,
positive and
quite
vibrant.
relieved.
Yes, so on that note, let's begin this chat. You touched upon the nerve. You have 3 businesses,
Yes.
3 different types,
Yes.
media, beauty, and consultancy,
Yes, that's
isn't it? Tell us about your journey, Anita. Which was first? What was first?
The first was the Butterfly Effect.
Yep.
And I started it because I was a blogger for the longest time. I had a food blog for nearly a decade. And I'd grown the blog from 0 subscribers to a good 10K subscribers.
Interesting.
And this is back in 2009.
Okay.
And the blog was the centerpiece of everything in my life. I used to pour down all my mommy frustrations, and I used to also capture my new babies, all the first and different milestones on it. I also taught myself to bake because of the blog. And I got into everything food related because of it as well. So slowly and steadily,
What was the name of your blog?
it was called Slice of My Life.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, so it was a slice of my life in
Okay.
every way possible.
All right. I think that's your Instagram handle as
It
well,
is.
right? Yeah.
And I haven't changed it because I feel like that blog has so much to do with who I am today.
Okay.
So I started writing content on the blog, so people liked what I wrote. So I started getting a lot of writing assignments, which were paid sometimes. I started baking, and the bakes turned out to be good when my family and friends had them, and I felt confident about, doing more of it. I started writing a lot around food. I used to style food and post the pictures on my Instagram and on my blog. So I got a lot of food styling assignments because of it. So slowly I was able to develop the blog into a revenue source.
Okay.
So I knew how to promote it as well. So when brands started approaching me. One of the first brands that approached me to do content for them was Food and Travel Arabia magazine.
Okay.
And then they said, why don't you do our social media as well? That's where the journey began. And that was somewhere around 2014.
Okay. Okay.
And that was just like a freelance assignment that I was doing. And at that time, I was a full-fledged consultant with a big four over here. So whatever little time I got on the side, I used to do the content for this company. And then slowly a lot of other companies started approaching me, and I felt like, okay, I can't do justice. And this is more exciting than consulting.
Okay.
So I thought maybe it's time for me to make that jump. And I moved out of the company and I started my own company. So that's the journey that's evolving, and it's still evolving.
So that's the butterfly effect. And how big is the team today?
So we've been bigger before because of the pandemic. We had to scale down a bit. At the moment, we're 12 on the
Okay.
team, but there was a time when we were like a good 20 odd people on the team.
Okay. What is the future of butterfly effect? What do you see new, especially with the pandemic opening up avenues in the terms of the social media?
Right.
And you know, every other person is a blogger, or you see a lot of them on
Yes.
all on different social media handles. How do you see the competition, and what is the way forward for butterfly?
It's a good thing you mentioned competition because when I started, there was a gap in the market.
Yes, 2014 and 2022.
Yes,
Yeah, you're right.
there was a
Yeah.
gap in the market which I think the butterfly effect was able to address. They were either traditional advertising companies or they were web development companies, and both were trying to do digital and content writing. And I think a lot of clients are very unhappy with the end result of it because they were not able to produce results for them. So we came in as a pure play digital company and with very strong writing, content writing skills, and artwork and graphic skills. So we were able to beautifully squeeze in between these two type of companies. And when you're asking about competition today, I don't have that privilege anymore because it has become a commodity. Everybody that you see is doing social media.
Yes.
It's that easy because everybody is updating their own Instagram. They know how to handle their own Facebook page. They know how to do TikToks and Snapchat. So I don't think that we have a USP anymore as such. So that is the hard truth that I have accepted, and I think that the only way to see the company grow is to start expanding in other countries. And we've already set up a company in the States, and we're trying to expand over there. And we're also looking to move into Saudi.
All right.
So I think I'm happy that there is competition. So the clients are getting the best content and the best sort of service because there is so much competition. But it also means that the pie has got smaller.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
You
Yeah.
have to look at other avenues as well.
Right. How do you define your role in Butterfly Effect? You said you have a team of around a dozen, and I've seen a young and vibrant team ever with you. So how do you delegate, or are you involved in every nitty-gritty of your company?
I used to be earlier, but it used to suck all my time away. And I realized that it was about control. So what I started to understand as in when the company got bigger and our client base got larger, is that I cannot do it all. So I started delegating work to people and trusted them to do it really well. And it worked. And I think I have a fantastic team. I don't have to even ask them what they're doing. They know their work very well. If it's a new client, how to onboard them, how to get them going, and how to keep it going and making sure that we get more and more business from the same account. They are very well versed in doing every aspect of this. And I don't get into the everyday operations anymore. I just go to the big client meetings where I have to maintain a relationship, or any new client that seems strategic, I try and close the deal. So that is where my role is at the moment with the Butterfly Effect. And of course, expansion plans.
Good, very good. So coming back to the second business where we met before and we spoke about, I don't think many people out there know about your involvement with Gatsby launch.
Yes.
That you own it, or your investment into it, or I think Butterfly is your first.
Yes, it is.
Isn't it? But still, Gatsby, you've been with Gatsby has been with you for 5 years now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay. And it went through the toughest of times, the
Yes,
past
it
2 years, the pandemic, and
Yes.
that business was one of the business sectors which was hit.
Yeah.
Tell us about your journey with Gatsby and how is it doing now?
So I never intended to be in the beauty business at all. It was entirely by chance. I happened to see a salon that was on sale, and somebody else was interested in buying it. They asked me to go and check it out. And here I go, and I love the name because it's Gatsby, and The Great Gatsby happens to be one of my favorite books all time. And I was like, wow, like what a name. And then I go inside, and it's a beautiful salon, but inactive for 1 year, so it's in shambles. But I saw the potential in it. I thought that this is such a fantastic concept. You cannot let this die. So the person who was supposed to buy it backed out. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should buy it. And that was such a crazy idea because I know nothing about the beauty industry. And yet I did. And I learned the hard way, and I'm still learning. But it's been a journey that's so rewarding, and it's been like I thought it's going to be that investment which I'll just put it on the side and I don't have to look at it. But no, if you have a business, whether you take it as a business in which you don't want much involvement or it's just for investment, you have to put your 100% and sometimes even 200% of effort to keep it going, you know. So that happened with Gatsby, and but I'm glad that it's on its feet now and it's doing well.
Good, good. And yes, we'll come back to your journey with the MH Consultancy
Yes.
after a short break. And tonight with me on BMC's Biztalk is Indian businesswoman Anita Menon. Welcome back to Biztalk from BMC Global Live, and with me tonight is Managing Director of the Butterfly Effect and Company, Anita Menon. Anita, so the third hat that you wear, the MH Consultancy, as I was reading through your profile, you said like it was going back home, isn't it? You
Yes.
started there, and you were with the KPMG.
Yes.
And that was your first job and things like that. How does it feel like? You describe it as your comfort zone.
It is because I genuinely am interested in any kind of business. So, and I want
Business
this.
is in your blood.
So I don't know if that's true because I come from a.
I was about to ask you.
No, it's not.
No.
Not
Okay.
at all. In fact, there's literally nobody in my family who's in business.
Really?
Both
Okay.
sides, mom and dad. And I'm really an apple that's fallen far from the tree. So having said that, yes, consulting has always been my first love in that sense. It's very demanding, it's very involving, and it's a very isolated profession. You go into a consulting project and you don't see people for months because you're so into the work, and it's a solitary profession. But I enjoyed that because by nature I'm a loner, and I really enjoy it. But when I came into the marketing field, it's like I'm always surrounded by people, and I have to be in the public a lot of time, and I have to meet way too many people. So that was like a complete shift from what I used to do. So after 8 years of Butterfly Effect, somewhere I just felt that I want to go back to consulting because I don't want to forget, or I don't want to lose those skills. But you never forget or lose those skills.
Yes.
But so I thought, let me just go back and see how it feels like, and it feels great. It does feel great.
Okay, and those podcasts are wonderful. the Breakfast
Okay, thank
Banda,
you.
yeah, with Ron Howard, right?
Yes,
He's your
yes.
partner.
Yes.
So what is the aim of those podcasts? What are you trying to achieve out of them?
So when we started the consulting company, the idea was to approach any company in need of any kind of help in terms of, let's say, process improvement or strategy or any kind of financial processes set up or anything at all, policy procedures, all of that. But then we realized, as and when we met more SMEs, we realized that a lot of SMEs really don't know what they're doing at all. And they used to ask really basic questions like, okay, now how do I go and get a loan? Or how do I do this? Or how do I, so Ron and I, we kind of put our heads together and said, you know what, let's put something out there which people can go back to and refer if they feel that they're stuck somewhere. So in the beginning, there was absolutely no concept of having guests over. It would just be Ron and I, and we would talk about different aspects of business. We talk about what goes into a feasibility study, who needs a feasibility study, or how do you go to a bank and negotiate something, or how would you go and get a loan from a bank as a small business.
Yeah.
And okay, we were the first ones to predict that the VAT is not going to stay at 5%, it is going to go higher. And now very recently we also predicted that very soon we will also have the corporate tax.
Okay.
So we talk about things like that, and then we start getting a lot of interest, and especially on LinkedIn, I was getting a lot of traction. Ron is not on any internet profile or anything, but I'm the one who kind of manages that side of the business. So then we started having guests one by one, because some of the guests came to us and said, can I be on your podcast? I'd like to discuss this. Things like that. So slowly it's evolved into this guest format, and then we do some podcasts just between Ron and I.
Okay. Yeah, and especially Bahrain with a rich SME background.
Yes.
Which I think SME is the backbone of Bahrain's businesses.
Yes.
So I'm sure these banders would do
Yes.
a lot of good.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah. You just said that you've none in your family with a business background, and I love the expression of apple fallen far from the tree. But tell me about your family, Anita. And also maybe did you ever dream that you would be a business person somewhere?
Oh, no. But before that, I'll tell you about my family. So I was brought up in a township that belonged to the Tatas.
Okay.
So my father used to work for Tata Chemicals, and that township was like tiny, so tiny that you'd not even see it on the map of India.
Okay, where is it?
It's called Mithapur. It's very close to Dwarka, Jamnagar.
Okay, yeah.
In Gujarat. So having been brought up in such a small place, my idea of the world was, I didn't have an idea of the world basically. So I was in such a small place, and my father and mom and my mom was also working with Bank of Baroda. So both of them were working, and they always wanted me to join a company like Tata's and spend all those 30, 40 years of my life working for the same company and things. But obviously, I did my engineering, and then I did my MBA, and I got placed with HCL. Again, a very big company, a lot of legacy, and a wonderful company to work for, fantastic employee-driven company. Got great exposure there, but my parents expected that I'll continue, and I didn't. I left it when I became a mom, and I took a 2-year sabbatical when my daughter was born. And then they expected, okay, now 2 years, when your daughter's going to school, go back to the workforce, and I did. And I joined KPMG and consulting and all of that. And then I told my mom that I can't do this 14-hour thing anymore. And I don't see my daughter at all, because I'm always traveling between Bahrain and Qatar back then. So she's like, okay, so find a job that's easier for you to deal with. I said, no, I don't want to work. I want to do something at home which will, help me spend more time with my daughter. And content writing fits the bill, I can stay at home. I don't have to go anywhere. And they were not really pleased. So we had I think my mom and dad had a lot of sleepless nights. When I quit my job, and I said that I'm starting this company and I'm just going to be home. So from day one, our company's way of working is we all work from home. I have an office in Seif, but we don't really meet there except to have breakfast or celebrate someone's birthday or if a client is coming over, but we generally all work from home. And we feel that we're super efficient and we manage to do a lot of things. So when the pandemic hit and people were crying about working from home and how difficult it is, we've been doing it for ages. So anyways, my parents were not really happy that I became an entrepreneur. But now they're like, good, they're accepted.
Right. Yes, and I think that brings me to my question of Bahrain and the support that you received from Bahrain.
Oh, yes.
I think, pardon me if I'm wrong, there may be others, but the only other Indian businesswoman who comes to my mind is Shantini Raja.
Oh, yes.
And she also, I had the same question to her. How do you find the business climate in Bahrain? And for an entrepreneur like you, who is jumping from one to the other to the next, and I think soon you're venturing into yet another one.
Yes.
How do you find the support and the system? What's your take on it? How long have you been in Bahrain?
Nearly 11 years.
Okay.
Yes. Out of which 8 years I've been in the business, right? So I feel that if I wasn't in Bahrain, I wouldn't be an entrepreneur. I would put it plain and simple like that. Because I feel that not even a single day did I feel that I was discriminated against, first, for being a woman, second, for being an expat. Never. I've never had that issue. Wherever I approached, if I talk sense, people listen and they will give me the work if they're convinced by what I'm trying to tell them. So I've never faced any kind of discrimination of any kind, any sort in these 8 years of being in any kind of business, which is, I have all 3 types of businesses, right? So no, I've never faced any problem. In fact, I've only gotten a lot of support. Everybody's very encouraging of, supporting the next business. And for example, Tamkeen weight support. So I have a lot of Arabic, a lot of Bahraini staff with me. And I need it because content writing has to be bilingual. Right?
Yeah.
And I have these amazingly skilled, very talented kids on board. Now they're not kids, they joined me around 8 years back and now they're all quite grown up.
Yeah.
But the weight support system is one of the best things that has happened. And that gives me so much relief as a business owner because a lot of the cost is taken care of, the fixed cost of salaries,
That's right.
So
yeah.
I feel that it's just pretty amazing.
I don't want to ask this question. I don't like asking this question of being a woman. How do you find it? Because gone are those days,
Yeah.
There's no such. We don't find it anymore. But as a successful entrepreneur, I would term you in Bahrain, and a person who came in with no business background, and from your story, like it just happened, it just developed.
Yeah.
What would be your tip to some man or woman out there who would be thinking to take a bet, like, should I jump or not? What would be your tip from your life experience?
I think that you don't want to get into a business that everybody's doing. You want to address a specific need in the market. Then that will ensure your sustainability in the market. If you try and do what everybody else is doing, no matter how amazing you are, it's really tough to kind of do well. Yes, you may survive somehow, but you're not going to do well. And ultimately, you will get frustrated and you're going to close down your business. You have to address a gap in the market, fulfill it with the best possible service level that you can, and then you will see how your business grows. This is the only tip I can give from all the experience that I've had, running these 3 businesses.
Great. That's a great take back from an established serial entrepreneur, Anita Menon, who is with us this evening on Biztalk from BMC Global Live. Let's take a short break.
The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahla. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination.
Welcome back to Biztalk from BMC Global Live, and with me this evening is Anita Menon. So Anita, as we come to the last segment of the show, we've been discussing all that you are as a businesswoman, but I know you are an avid reader, a lover of books, and one thing that I love about you is your book club. Well, those of you out there who doesn't know, Anita runs a book club at her home. She opens her collection of treasure of words to children and young adults, perhaps, or even adults as well. Tell us more about it,
Not
Anita.
so much adults. I like children better.
Okay.
So
That's a loaded statement. Yeah.
So the thing is, my daughter wasn't really a reader, and both my husband and I, we're like avid readers. And I was wondering, like, she sees us reading, and why don't she pick up a book, you know? So then I decided that let me bring her friends over, and we'll see if she reads. And she did. So her friends got their books, and then she was saying everybody was reading, so she picked up the book, and the habit caught on. So then a lot of friends and people who live in our building, they said that can we send our child as well? I know that you're gathering children and helping them read. So then I said sure, why not? And then like that the whole book club family just grew bigger and bigger. So we meet once a week, Sunday, and for 1 hour, and then 45 minutes we have this silent time where we read any book, and then if anybody's done with the book in the last 15 minutes, they can do like a quick 5-minute book review, so that somebody else may feel interested, may pick up the book afterwards. Or we do something called the dictionary games, where we explore different words, something that they have not encountered before. So this was 5 years ago when I started, and it just evolved and became bigger and bigger, and then there were so many children, I could not fit them all in my house, and so I started scheduling them between alternate Sundays, and then the pandemic hit, and so children stopped coming. So now I restarted the book club, and I have children as young as 7 years come in, and I have teenagers come in and read as well.
So do you replenish the books? You bring books?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
You buy it from India or?
No, I buy it from here itself.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, or I order from Book Depository.
Okay.
And they're very expensive. Books are so expensive. But I can't have it any other way. I think of it as my art collection.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you observe the changing pattern in reading pattern among children? Because you will be the right person to comment. And I do not know how equipped is Bahrain in terms of a library. I do not know. But what is your experience? What does it say? Because reading as a habit in children is, I think, something very vital, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
you're doing a wonderful job on that.
Absolutely. So what I feel is that reading, when you watch television, what it's doing the visualizing for you. So you're not using your imagination for anything when you're watching TV, any show on Netflix. But when you read a book, your mind's eye opens and it just starts seeing those scenes. That's when you're completely engrossed in the book, 100%. And I see that change in children from not being able to read more than 2 pages to not being able to leave the book. So I've seen that. And yes, I had to incentivize them. I would say that, okay, let's do X number of books this month. Or anybody who finishes Harry Potter's series, 1, 2, 3 books will win something. I kept incentivizing them, and they took the bait, and now all of them are really avid readers. I really feel very happy, like genuinely happy about this change, you know. And then now I'm getting a lot of new readers, and they're fidgety, they don't want to read, and they feel like their parents have forced them to come here. But after 2 classes, I see the change in them. Because they see everybody is reading. Then there must be something inside the book that is
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
Something is going on which I have not still found out, so let me find out. So that happens. And those who are not interested in reading, I read to them.
Okay.
So everybody likes stories.
Yeah.
It's just the format which they may like or may not like, whether it's print or whether it's TV or whatever. But stories everybody likes.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. And Anita, you as a writer, you also write and you're part of
Yes, I
Bahrain
do.
Writers Club. And what is your favorite genre of literature? What do you write?
I actually...
Other than the content writing, I'm talking about the
Yes,
personal
yes.
stuff.
I don't do much content writing anymore. In between, I used to write articles for business magazines, but I don't do that either because I really don't have the bandwidth to do that. I really like to read literary fiction. That
Okay.
is my favorite genre. And I write in the same. I did dabble in a little fantasy fiction for young adults, and I have it ready, but I haven't published anything.
Okay, I was about to ask you, do you have any publishing dreams?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But I get cold feet. Like I can jump into the most risky business, but getting my work published just gives me such cold feet that I'm not able to take that, decision. Hopefully in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice chatting with you this evening. Anita, tell us about your future plans. I think you are thinking forward in terms of business
Yeah.
or as in your passion. What is in store?
I think again it comes back to addressing a gap in the market, and I'm going to do just that in 1 month's time. And I don't want to reveal what it is till it's actually open. But within 1 month's time, I'll be addressing a gap in the market which I saw, and it's going to be
Felt.
something nice. Yes,
Okay.
but it's in the wellness industry.
Okay, okay. All the very best to all your ventures, and it was really inspirational, whatever you
Oh,
said,
thank you
whatever
so
you
much.
shared. And you look as colorful as a butterfly. Thank you for
Oh, thank you.
adorning the studios. Can I have your final comments, please?
Thank you so much for having me. Whenever we have such a chat with anyone is when I have the time to reflect about what I've done. Until then, we're just going from one day to another day, trying to overcome one challenge after the other. But this is the time I have when you're asking me something and I'm reflecting and I'm answering something, which helps me understand me better.
Right.
So I think it's been a great experience. And as far as parting comments are concerned, I feel Bahrain is the best market to try out anything new. A great, great pilot market, which if successful can be taken to the rest of GCC or to the rest of the world or the region. So anybody who wants to launch a business cannot find a better platform. That is what I would say in the end.
Thank you very much, Anita. All the very best.
Thank you so much.
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
Truly a butterfly effect. That was the colorfully vibrant and enterprising Indian entrepreneur Anita Menon with us this evening on Biztalk from BMC Global Live. Until we meet next week with yet another guest, this is Rajiv Unikrishnan signing off. Good night. Thank you, Anita, for joining us at the BMC studios. It was indeed an honor and pleasure. We have a small token of appreciation from you. I would call upon Francis Kaidar, Chairman and Managing Director of BMC, to hand over the memento.
Yes, it was so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much for.
Thank you so much. This is so nice.